divided into 2 days? It means like this?
Yeah, if you don't take it in the finals week, I can give you 2 class periods to do your final exam. So December 10th is your last day of class. You can take December 8th and December 10th class to do your final.
Oh, yeah, 2 class.
Yeah, 2 class
Still
periods.
2 hours, because you only have an hour of class, that's why it's 12.
It's like a music festival.
Right, because exam is long, so you'll need longer.
Yeah, the 2 times.
And what's gonna happen is you're gonna hand me your exam, after the first day, and I'll give it back to you the second day, and you'll finish it and give it back to me.
That would be great for me.
What?
2 times would be great for me.
2 time would be great for you?
I think so.
Really?
What is your idea?
It's the same, I think. I don't know. I just, since we have time, I thought we can get done with it. But if somebody feels that it will be too soon and they need more time to study and whatnot,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I need more time.
you need more time to study?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we can take it in the finals, it's fine. Because I know the students who raised their hands to take it before are all the ones who are doing really, really good. And so some of you might need more time maybe, so. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little bit of review. My battery abruptly died in the last class. So final exam so far December 12th. Wednesday, December 12th. 10:30 a.m. to 12:30. Thanks to your classmate who looked that up. So this is your demand, this is your marginal revenue, your upward marginal cost curve.
Is this the same?
Yeah, it's the same, it's the same. So if, it's a good review for anybody who was a little bit lost yesterday or in the last class and, wanna just make sure that they get everything right. So this is a market for a monopoly. What is the profit maximizing quantity? It's still wherever marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue. So in this case, MC is crossing marginal revenue at this point. So the profit maximizing quantity is 130. What is the profit maximizing price? Well, so this is the profit maximizing quantity where MC is crossing MR. The minimum they can charge, the actual price is $30 at that quantity. But what the monopolists do is they charge, at that quantity, they charge the highest possible price they can charge. So they go straight up until they hit the demand curve, and then to the left, whatever the price is the monopolist price. So the profit maximizing price for monopolist is $50 in this case, right? Whatever your quantity is, your equilibrium quantity goes straight up to the highest price, straight up until the demand curve and to the highest price. What do their profits equal? Well, for profits, we use the same formula we use to find the competitive market rectangular formula. So equilibrium quantity times price minus your ATC. In this case, the quantity is 130. The price they're charging is 50. The average total cost at that quantity. So come down at the ATC curve, directly down and across, and that is the ATC price. So at 130, the monopolist price is $50. If you go directly down to the ATC curve, which is this, the price is 40. So ATC price is 40. So this gives you a profit equal to 1,300. 1,300 is your profit. So if this was a perfectly competitive farm, what would their price and quantity equal? If this was a perfectly competitive firm, price would equal marginal cost. So where MC is crossing the demand curve, that is your competitive equilibrium quantity, and your price is 40. For a competitive firm, price and demand are the same, or marginal revenue and demand are the same, and marginal cost and supply is the same. So wherever marginal cost and demand are crossing is what's your equilibrium price and quantity for a competitive firm.
Wait, why is the competitive market at 150 and the monopoly one's at 130? Or, so I was gonna ask, yeah.
Okay, so for a monopolist, so for a monopolist, marginal revenue is not the same as demand, right?
Yeah.
We have a different marginal
okay.
revenue curve, and we have a different, and the same, so marginal cost curve is the same for both monopolist and competitive. But marginal revenue curve is different for monopolist, and for a competitive firm, the demand and marginal revenue are the same, right? So, this is for competitive. So wherever demand and marginal costs are crossing is the competitive equilibrium price and quantity. But for the monopolist, the marginal revenue and marginal cost are crossing at this point. So this is the equilibrium quantity and price.
Gotcha.
The profit maximizing quantity for monopolist is where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So for monopolist, the marginal revenue curve is this curve. It's a downward sloping curve. It's a different curve than the competitive market. So for a monopolist, this is the marginal revenue curve, and this is the marginal cost curve, and they are meeting here. So this is your equilibrium price and quantity. Equilibrium price is the highest one at that quantity. Is it clear?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So we said that the difference between monopolist and competitive is, you probably have this in your notes too, but I don't know if we have that in the recording or not. The price is higher for the monopolist. It is lower for competitive. The quantity, so monopolists sell low or less, and competitive sell more or high quantity sold. For the producer surplus, for monopolists is higher because of all the greater profit margin they have. Because of the greater profit margin, for the competitive firm, the producer surplus is lower. Consumer surplus for monopolist is lower because less people can buy it. Less people can buy the high-priced product, right? The consumer surplus for a competitive firm is much higher. More people buy the product. So what happens because of this differences, the economic surplus for a monopolist, or the total market surplus, on net, society is worse off. There is inefficiency. Whenever an economist says there's inefficiency, that means that there's room to make more surplus. Dead weight loss. Producer surplus is much greater than consumer surplus. Here, net on net, the society are much greater. So, let's calculate the, now this is the new stuff.